August 10th started off as an average day. We were expecting some storms, but we're not expecting any severe storms.
About 12:45-ish, the clouds got kind of dark and I thought, oh, it looks like the weather might get bad. And we started seeing the rain come down, and it was coming down really, really hard, and the wind was crazy, and we started seeing grills pass. We saw, just benches, everything go across our pond, and this was definitely scary.
The lines down, trees down, cars all over the place. Some people just abandoned their cars.
Parts of houses completely gone, and it was street after street after street after street after street.
Blocked every direction you went, and it was just like, wow, what happened here?
And then they started realizing the magnitude. We're talking, 50 miles wide, 700 miles long, type of deal.
It was beyond anything anybody could have imagined. For the first time ever, there were no transmission sources coming into Cedar Rapids. There was an impact to every single circuit in this town. That doesn't happen. The entire city was dark.
Well, in 23 years, I had never seen this type of outage, and we immediately knew this was going to be a restoration effort larger than we had ever done.
Before that storm hit, I had a couple hours of notice. Down south, a hurricane will be coming. They'll have 5-7 days to think about where their material is going to come from, how they're going to feed and house people. We didn't have that. This was going to be a marathon, not a sprint.
At the command center, we have the people that we really need there because of their resources and their knowledge. And so the police chief, the fire chief, we have somebody from the hospital, the city administrator, our city engineer, and Amanda Akla from Alliant to see what they could do to help out.
We got resources, we put people in place, we created the plan, and then we worked the plan, and that's what we did for 17 days. We just wanted to get the lights on.
Tuesday morning, August 11th, after the storm, I woke up at about 2 in the morning and naturally couldn't go back to sleep because I knew what was going on out there. So I got dressed and I left from Dubuque. My plan was to drive to Marshalltown and then come back to Cedar Rapids and see the damage and visit the crews and the team. And as I drove up to Cedar Rapids, there was not a single light on in that city, which was an unbelievably eerie feeling. And as I continued driving to Marshalltown, through Tama and on to Marshalltown, all those small towns, there were no lights on. That's an unbelievable feeling when you've worked in this business for 40 years. And yet when I got to Marshalltown, here were the crews already gathering, ready to continue putting the lights back on, and the same thing when I got back to Cedar Rapids.
When the Alliant truck pulled into the driveway, I was like, oh my gosh, he's here.
I can't believe how many trucks were able to mobilize and be here. That was one thing that was pretty phenomenal.
The linemen were doing about 8 months of work within a 2 to 3 week period.
We had over 200 Alliant Energy employees that were out there working on the lines. They were joined by nearly 1,300 additional line contractors that came from around the United States and even Canada. We had 700 tree personnel out there clearing debris. And then we were also helped by the National Guard. They had over 100 people that were out there also helping to get a lot of that tree removal and debris stuff taken care of for us. Customers showed us grace. They were appreciative. People were so much more patient than we would have thought.
So we were without power for 2 weeks.
It was 7 days to get power to the office, 8 days to get power at home, might have been 9 days. There were people living in homes with no electricity, no air conditioning.
I was actually out of power for 5 days also, so you kind of know what it's like, especially when you work and you get home at midnight and you have to get back up at 5.
Here at our food box, we were without power for 8.5 days, so we weren't able to meet the needs of our clients needing food. The Saturday after the Derecho, we had a great partnership with Alliant Energy. They had contacted us earlier in the week and said, we want to provide you with some sandwiches and some fruit and some water for people to just drive through and get it, no questions asked, whatever you need. They were generous enough to say, this is something else we can do to help this community.
Never had one customer that came up and complained. There were so many of them that came up and they would give us water, cookies, sweets. They were fabulous.
I was working in Tama, and a little boy came out with a can of Pepsi and handed it to me while I was in the bucket.
My most memorable moment was the day that we called the storm done.
When the lights did come back, first thing I remember was hearing my son bound up the stairs, whip off his shirt, spin it around, and yell, "Woohoo!" And that was kind of like, yeah, that pretty much summarizes how we feel right now.
If you took a poll and asked, what do the people in Marshtown think about Alliant, linemen especially, it would be, we love them, God bless them, thank them for coming when we need them.
This storm, as bad as it was, it made all of our teams stronger.
I saw a whole lot of leaders step forward.
I could not be more proud. I could not be more proud to be an Alliant Energy employee, or more proud to work alongside of all of the people that made this happen. Every day, people came in here with the best attitudes, and I will remember it always.
I've been doing this work for 35 years. This is something that you really enjoy doing. It's in your heart. We're here. We're not leaving until you get power.
August 10th, 2020 is a day we will never forget. Unexpected windstorms of up to 140 miles an hour swept across Iowa, leaving 256,000 Alliant Energy customers without power. I witnessed firsthand the devastation to homes, businesses, schools, and farms across the communities we serve. The damage to the energy grid was unlike anything I have ever seen. In the hours and days that followed, we mobilized hundreds of employees, along with over 2,000 utility workers and contractors, to support the effort to rebuild the electric system. And as we worked day and night to restore power, I was overwhelmed by the dedication of our team and the kindness, patience, and support of Iowans. It's why I'm so proud to serve customers and build strong communities in this great state. There's still work that needs to be done to help our customers and communities recover from the storm. But I know we will power through this together.